Be me, 30-year-old Tard Wrangler. I have a master in special education, and have been wrangling tards since I was 24. It's bad, fellow Anons. Every year we take the tards on a field trip. It's the law. You see, years ago, a tard's mom sued because her special little tard never got to you, the zoo. Thanks, bitch. You're the reason I go through this hell every year. We're going to a park because we're basically banned from the zoo. We aren't officially banned because it would look bad to enact a ban on special education classes, but trust me, we aren't welcome. That penguin will never be the same. Off we go. We're taking a fleet of short buses, so many kids in wheelchairs. Then you have the kids that wig out if someone sits too close to them. So lots of buses. One of the junior wranglers. She's in college and still cares. Tries to get our bus to sing the wheels on the bus. Bad idea. Half the kids just make weird off-key sounds. Half stare, blankly, ropes of drool running out of their mouths. This one autistic girl, Debbie, starts to scream. She's pretty much non-verbal, but every so often she screams. Now she screams non-stop. The other tards are getting upset and also are starting to scream. Junior Wrangler tries to stop the song, but people start screaming, sing, 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 or rah, rah, rah. She looks at me. I shrug. She needed to learn. We get to the park. It was supposed to be handicap accessible. It's not. Hope the wheelies are okay with that. We have two parent chaperones. Carol is a Jesus tard who adopts handicapped kids to prove what a great Christian she is. Something, something, abortion. She has two in my class. Her daughter Neve, heaven spelled backwards, is a hardcore tard, and Charlie is a tard and a deviant. Carol dresses them like a couple of youth pastors. I've never seen Carol's husband. He's always quote-unquote working, or off being a prayer warrior. It's either Tinder or Grindr. The tard wranglers have a betting pool. Hannah has a hardcore autistic kid. She keeps thinking that he'll turn out to be one of those secret genius autistic kids. He's 16 and has only recently learned how to dress himself and wipe his own ass. So I don't think he's going to become a concert pianist. But we'll see. Neither of them has ever chaperoned the tard trip before. This will be important later. We arrive at the park. Debarking the buses is 20 minutes of hell. The autists and downies can't wait for the wheelies. They're spazzing for the slides. Hannah is clapping her hands and saying, "Wait your turn!" in a chirpy voice like some kind of deranged flight attendant. Carol is yelling, "Back up," like a cop at a BLM protest. It doesn't work. Experienced wranglers know to just grab and push. The wheelies are shrieking and flapping. The ones that can move their arms are pointing. Some of them are actually pointing at the playground. One girl is saying, "Swing! Swing!" over and over. She's also thrashing around like she can propel herself from the chair to the swing. She can't. Thank God for the slubber-covered harness. A note on the wheelies. They are the worst-smelling tards. They have various harnesses and seatbelts to keep them from lurching out of their chairs. These are all made of a material that captures their drool. Their drool contains partially chewed food. And then there's the diaper situation. Odds are, if you're a wheelie, you're in a diaper. They fill the diaper and then sit in it. No matter how absorbent the diaper, the smell works its way into the seat. And there it stays, forever and ever. These wheelchairs cost a fortune, so the seats don't get changed often. The smell is rank and sticks in your nostrils. Let us return to the action. The mobile tards are rushing to the playground. It's like watching a World War I movie when they rush to the enemy trenches. Here the enemy are suburban moms taking the toddlers to the playground on a sunny morning. They don't stand a fucking chance. When toddlers are on playgrounds, their normal impulse to flee evaporates. They become essentially trusting and love big kids. The toddlers are also intrigued by the gahs, squeaks, and yays coming from the incoming tard horde. The suburban moms are all about inclusion and celebrating people who are differently abled. Normally, If a pack of screaming teens rushed their precious little darlings, they would form some kind of defensive ring and run the louds off. If that didn't work, they would call the police. Tards present a special problem for them. They want their children to learn that different blood people are people too. So they drop their defensive postures and hope for the best. This is a mistake. Each of them knows that if they don't accept and appreciate the Tards, then Lori will shame them at Starbucks, and play group invitations will disappear. So they stand with their forced smiles. Lori is a dumb bitch. A 250-pounder bowls over a 4-year-old. The child is crying, the deuce and half is still moving. A Tard girl sees a stuffed unicorn and snatches it from the little girl. The little girl is screaming and crying. The mother is trying to get the unicorn back. Now Hannah jumps in. She says to the Tard, "Your new friend has said that you won't share the unicorn." The Tad replies, "Gah!" which is the best you're going to get from that one. Hannah has switched to a more commanding tone. Big mistake. The Tard has begun flapping. Flapping is usually the first sign that Tard rage is building. Hannah doesn't know this. Suddenly the Tard lashes out. Luckily she has some kind of motor neuron disorder, and her punch is just an awkward shove. However, she drops the unicorn. Mother swoops in, grabs the unicorn, and pulls the little darling to safety. The Tard begins to cry. The other moms look on with disapproval. Looks like the little girl will be going to Caden's birthday party. Chuckling Charlie is wandering around, chuckling to himself. When Charlie becomes Chuckling Charlie, we have a problem. Unfortunately, he's too far away from me to stop what's coming next. Down go the sweatpants, and out comes Chuckling Charlie's penis. All the little kids get to see it, and of course the mothers are shrieking. Usually, Chuckling Charlie will begin to masturbate. Maybe it's the screams, maybe it's the brisk fall air, but he just stands there, waving his dick in the wind. Also the name of a Ween song. Chuckling Charlie belongs to Carol, because of course this Tard belongs to a Jesus Tard. Carol runs over and stuffs his penis back into his sweatpants. The way she grabs it so naturally and authoritatively means that she must have had a lot of practice. Then Carol says my favorite thing ever. "If you want to touch your wee-wee, ask if Jesus wants to see your wee-wee." I doubt Chuckling Charlie has the capacity to ask rhetorical questions, but good try, Carol. Chuckling Charlie's penis gave the mother permission to scoop up their precious little darlings and flee. The Tards run rampant. We stay until someone falls off the slide. Now it's time for McDonald's. McDonald's is Tard Mecca. We have to go to the McDonald's on the freeway. The nice one downtown has stopped taking pre-orders from school groups. This is my fault. 2 years ago a Tard jumped the counter, beat up a worker. The worker was also a Tard. I guess the worker had broken Tard law because the beatdown was fucking brutal. This student could have been in a street gang the way he laid on the beating. Tard strength is real. This is probably what it looked like when that chimp ripped a lady's face off. Anyway, we're at the freeway McDonald's. I've pre-ordered 40 Happy Meals, all with chicken nuggies. I'm sure my readers know the importance of tendies. No Tard workers at this McDonald's. Maybe a meth dealer and a sex offender or two work here, but no Tards. I'll take it. McDonald's has been smoke-free for at least 20 years, but it still smells like stale cigarettes. Hannah is upset that all the Happy Meals have fries. She's upset that they won't have apple slices. She chews me out for not helping the students make healthy choices. Let's be real, Hannah. These kids aren't going to live long, healthy lives, and if your husband had dumped his load in your ass, I wouldn't be having this conversation. Anyway, Tard feeding is a complete mess. They attack their food like hyenas feeding upon a gazelle. Most of them eat by smashing the food into their face. A few of them have to be fed. If you're feeling Charless, you have to be careful. She will go for your fingers. Only my most experienced Tard wranglers feed her. Now it is time for diaper changes. Most Tards release their bowels while eating. It's just part of being a Tard wrangler. You can almost hear the plops, like some kind of sick cartoon. Really though, it's the smell. They don't all release their bowels. They like to store their shit for a week. See the saga of Spetty Eddy. However, 5 or 6 Tard shits is likely one whole porta potty at a music festival. We have 7 shitting Tards. Hannah and Carol are suddenly less helpful. I ask them to watch the group while the professional wranglers and I begin the diaper changes on the floor of a McDonald's bathroom. I dropped acid once in college, and sometimes I wonder if I'm a homeless man on a street corner, just living in a perpetual bad trip. Midway through the diaper changes, I come out to check on the group. We're too short. I call my wranglers to double check the count. We're definitely too short. This is a fucking nightmare. This is why I'm against field trips. I leave 3 wranglers on diaper duty. The rest of us are going over the list. Carol and Hannah are apologizing and saying, I just don't know what happened. I mean, fucking hell. Hannah's tard was bad luck, but Carol adopted Charlie on purpose. We're missing Agnes and Oswald. Apparently, when parents find out their kid is retarded, they pick tard names for them. I asked the obviously tweaking manager if he saw anything. He points to the drainage ditch that separates the freeway from the McDonald's. It is down a weed-covered hillside. The ditch is concrete. At one end is a giant metal grate leading to some kind of tunnel. I grab my most trusted wrangler and off we go. This is probably a hobo living in the weeds. I hope I don't get stabbed today. As I come out of the weeds, I sink ankle deep in mud. The banks of the ditch are covered in tall reeds. I have a friend who did 2 tours in Iraq. He says I have PTSD. He says it's a triketamine. The other wranglers and I are fighting our way through the reeds. We're calling out for Agnes and Oswald. Above us, I can hear the cars and trucks rushing down the freeway. Then we see it. It is bad, fellow Anons. They're both naked. Tards actually have a sex drive, which is terrifying. They're also calf-deep in fetid ditch water, with a few piss-filled soda bottles decorating the hillside leading up to the freeway. I'm not sure if they have achieved coitus. I'm not sure what happens to me if Agnes gets pregnant on a field trip. Probably something bad. Agnes looks confused, like she's not sure why she's naked. To be fair, Agnes usually looks confused. She knows she's witnessed the last 5 minutes of her life, but she has no fucking clue what those 5 last minutes were. Her entire existence is 5 very confusing minutes. I'm pretty sure they haven't even fucked yet because Oswald is working very hard to pinch off a loaf in the drainage ditch. This may be his version of foreplay. Oswald is working very hard. Women have had less trouble birthing babies than Oswald is having getting this giant fucking brick of shit out of his asshole. I just had to stand there watching him birth his turd into the ditch water. He finally completes the birth. We retrieve their clothes, wipe Oswald's ass with some grass, and take them back. I'm soaking wet, but all tards are now present and accounted for. We get on the bus, head back to school. After we offload the tards, I thank Carol and Hannah for their help. Hannah is still pissed about healthy choices situation. I have a feeling I'm going to hear about this from the principal. The apple slices versus fries thing will turn out to be a bigger deal than the Oswald and Agnes possibly fucking situation. Honestly, I was more nervous waiting for Agnes to get her period than I was that one time in college when the condom broke. Anyway, let's return to the present. Carol puts her hand on my chest. She begins to tell me how much she loves the way I care for my students. It doesn't happen often, but it happens enough that they covered during my student teaching rotation. You never fuck a tard's mom. It's not as bad as fucking a tard, because you won't go to jail, but it's damn close. No matter how much you may want to go straight to Pound Town with an upper middle class suburban mom who still looks good in yoga pants, you never fuck a tard's mother. She will get attached, her life is hell, she has to live with a tard, or in Carol's case, 2. And she wants to bring you into her life. The price of that pussy is you become her private tard wrangler. If you try to fuck and run, she will rain down hellfire. Never fuck a tard's mother. I break out a lie about how I'm engaged. That doesn't stop Carol. She points out that engaged does not equal married. This is the difference between a Jesus tard and a Christian. If you are gay or have an abortion, then she will spout scripture like an apostle. On the other hand, she's okay with getting a little side action from a special education teacher. A Christian is more consistent. I politely decline, but I tell her I wish I could. This seems to satisfy her. Next year, I have to get apple slices. There will be a riot when they don't find fries in their Happy Meals. but that's a future problem. Maybe I'll find out I have stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and it will be someone else's problem. A few weeks later, Agnes starts to cry, sticks her hand down her pants, and wipes blood on her desk. Looks like Oswald won't be paying child support. Not the worst field trip I've ever been on. Give us a hug, OP.